he's talked about the question of deterrence. This is not the first time there's been election violence in the country, but he's talking about deterrence. If that report, because when we had first discussed this, I asked the question, are these numbers not being exaggerated? But he's saying here now that the security agencies usually have this kind of information, but what they do with it is where the problem is. How can we get to that point where there's a strong level of deterrence put out there so that nobody even thinks about going towards that area of election violence?
You know, for me, the best deterrent against electoral mayhem and violence is electoral justice. Electoral justice.
How would that work?
You know, by electoral justice, I mean ensuring that you conduct a free and fair election. Once there is a general belief that that election is fair, Nigerians are discerning.
Does it start from the primaries?
Exactly. Across the board, Nigerians are discerning. Nigerians are not animals. They have a sense of justice, and sometimes, shorn of the technical embroidery to justice, their raw sense of justice is very qualitative sometimes. They know what is right and what is wrong. In Ondo State in 1983, I was in that state. Election was conducted, and FEDECO announced that Chief Akeoma Borewo had won the election. He was the deputy to Adekunle Ajasin in the UPN, and he decamped to the NPN. The NPN were trying to have a foothold in UPN states. So Ondo State was in play as far as they were concerned. In the then Bende State, Ogbemudia, an ex-military man, took over from Ambrose Ali. In Oyo State, Lawyer took over from Bola Ige. So they were snatching UPN states. And the state was calm. Nobody knew that there was going to be an eruption. And then they rigged that election and announced that Omoborewu had won the election. An unprecedented mayhem, perhaps equaled by what happened previously in the West, Operation Wetier, descended on Ondo State. And notables were killed by their own people. Those who killed Fagbamigbe and Agbayewa in Akure were not foreigners, they were the Akure people themselves.
But in the now, does it suggest to you that we are in such a position whereby it threatens the 2019 general elections when we get these figures that at least 20 states will be violence-stricken?
The point I'm making is that if you have electoral justice, you will have fulfilled the first condition to ensuring that electoral violence doesn't occur. However, I agree that the state has to be proactive. Usually said that, yes, their duty is to run a country and not a cemetery. I like the rhyming scheme. They have to be proactive about it. Because if you allow violence to overshadow election, it then implicates the issue of your legitimacy, even after you have secured that mandate. So the state has a responsibility. I'm talking about the federal government of Nigeria that established INEC, that is in control of the police, the SSS, all the security apparatus in the country, ensuring that there is security for the election. And this what a puppeteer will do now, like sermonization, will continue to appeal to politicians, but I guess that they don't listen to appeal. They just believe that the end will always justify the means. You just look at what is happening in our houses of assembly, and all that. So forever and ever, they've been fighting themselves and all that. It's not what you and I see on television, international television like this, that will restrain them. They think that it's real politics. So all the same, we'll still tell them that, they shouldn't go the violent way.
Let me get your thoughts, Professor Jiti Odinkalu. What, in your view, must be done, considering that we have this number of states, this security report, and possibly a challenge to the country at this time? What will be your final words on how to go about looking at, to avoid this from happening, basically?
Totally agree with GT. Electoral justice is where you begin. Count votes right and let whoever gets the highest votes fairly be declared winner. We should not go into elections with a determined outcome or mindset. Oh, that person has to win or that person has to win. Let the person who gets the most votes from the people win. We don't have to like the person. The person doesn't have to be from our village or go to the same church or mosque with us. They just have to get the most votes, period, credibly. That's number one. The second thing I think we need to do, can the security agencies publish their rules of engagement and concept of operations and rules of ethics for their involvement in elections? In 2003, we had the Police Service Commission do that for the police. And we started training on that, but didn't quite get it done before the elections took place. It seems to me right now, with the situation that we've got here, the reality is we've got wars in different parts of the country, and security agencies are going to have to play a deeper role in the elections than would ordinarily be the situation. Because this was my view in 2015. A lot of people said, oh, Jonathan had paid me to say so. I am saying so again, because the situation has not changed. In the Northeast, we've got a war. And because we have a war, the Geneva Conventions Act are very clear. The security agencies have a role to protect human life. That is their role. They don't have a role in rigging elections. In that role of protecting human life, however, the people they are protecting are participating in elections and things are going to have to take place. Therefore, it seems to me that the hierarchy of the security agencies must produce clear rules, concept of operations and rules of engagement and code of conduct for every operator who is going to be deployed in zones where elections will take place under deeper security role. It seems to me that is very critical.
Professor Odinkalu, I think that's a good place for us to leave it with you. Thank you very much. Mr. Jiti, your final thoughts. What do we do? My final thought is that as we move towards 2019, particularly in February, we don't have sufficient time. We don't have all the time in our hands. The Nigerian state, the security apparatus, the state, their leadership, as is suggested, everyone, the political parties, almost work in synergy to ensure that we have a free, fair, and credible and violence-free election in 2019. Because, as I often say, there is life after power, and that the Nigerian people should continue to see an improvement with every cycle of election in our electoral system. In 2019 will be about 20 years old, from 1999. I think that the 2019 election cannot be as bad as the 2007 election. We must be having improvements.
We must thank you indeed for sharing with us what the security situations in the country will amount to and how to tackle all of that. Thank you so much indeed. Jiti Ogunye is a legal practitioner, as well as a Professor Jiti Odinkalu from our Abuja studios, the former chairman of the National Human Rights Commission. Thank you both, gentlemen, for talking to us. And that's how the program's been today. Thank you as well for being a part of it. I am Gimba Umar. Bye for now.
I'm Neota Igbe. Bye-bye.